There were 14 workplace deaths in the first half of the year, fewer than the 28 in the same period in 2022. In its latest workplace safety and health report, the Manpower Ministry says that the drop reflects the positive outcomes from the Heightened Safety Period, which ended in May. And for one, Singapore managed to bring down its annualized workplace fatality rate. This places the country on track towards its goal of a fatality rate of below 1 per 100,000 workers.
Also, the Manpower Ministry says there is room for improvement. It's focusing especially on the construction and manufacturing sectors. Well, that's because they are the biggest contributors to fatalities and major injuries. Heidi Ng tells us more.
This machine can lift boxes that weigh up to 25 kilograms. It's helped workers at this flavouring company move loads without breaking a sweat or their backs. A soundproof cabinet for a milling machine also protects their ears. These are some measures Silesia has implemented to prevent workplace injuries. It's a move the Senior Minister of State for Manpower lauded the company for during his visit to their premises.
That's really an attitude that we want to see from management, being aware, being enlightened, being able to think about the safety of their workers. And I think that's one part in which you want to go beyond just the baseline, but creating a safe environment to give that assurance to your workers.
Silesia has also progressively improved its workplace safety certification to the second highest level in the past few years.
We hope that many different companies, including manufacturing firms, will start to tap onto BizSafe accreditation to upgrade their workplace safety and health. And I think it will help to reduce workplace safety and health incidents and also reduce the likelihood of many of these companies taking on demerit points.
The demerit point system will be expanded to the manufacturing sector from October. Now that's to clamp down on rising major injuries and fatalities. Now this means that companies could be banned from hiring foreign employees for up to 2 years if they accumulate enough demerit points for poor workplace safety.
To look at more closely on how the construction industry can double down on safety, we have with us Mr. Tung Ching Yew. He's president of the Society of Interior Designers Singapore, or SIDS. Welcome to the bulletin, Mr. Tung. We just heard about this demerit point system. Now, it kicks in for manufacturing in October, but it has been in effect in the construction sector for some time now. How much has it contributed to numbers improving in terms of safety in the industry?
Well, based on observations from the ground, it definitely has increased awareness. The demerit points will definitely affect reputations of construction firms if they fail to comply. But on the long run, I would suggest policymakers maybe to include some sort of rewards or incentivize construction firms that adhere best practices, so that it actually create a more positive environment.
So in other words, carrots as well as sticks. So
yes,
there's
right.
some punitive measures, but also some encouragement to try to do better.
Yeah, and we always love positivity.
All right, yeah. Do you think, say, if we do add incentives to this, it can be expanded to other industries, even beyond manufacturing, when that starts in October?
Yeah, I believe the incentivized methods will actually encourage more take-up rates and also increase participation so that companies and firms can actually look into how they can even get rewarded. Yeah.
Well, let's keep what you've said in mind and have a look at more of the workplace safety report. About 4 in 5 fatalities were from the construction, transportation and storage industries. Now, most were caused by falls from height, as well as the collapse or failure of structures and equipment. And meanwhile, the incidence of major injuries remained stable. Slips, trips and falls, they remained the top cause of major injuries, followed by machinery incidents. Mr. Tung, in the same, what we're seeing is the same unfortunate reasons behind those accidents: the slips, the trips, the falls from heights. Are any of these findings standing out to you specifically?
Well, having been in practice for 25 years, I've seen falls that resulted in death and critical injuries. But of course, there are other aspects that probably has contributed to the numbers of accidents on site. That's actually a lot to do with night work, where the job sites are poorly lit, and that will lead to a very high risk of going to an accident. Another point is about hot works on site. Usually there will be a safety officer to watch out for hot works. If that is not put in practice, accidents will definitely happen.
Is it fair at all to say that the bigger the firm, the safer they are because they know the rules, they better perhaps, they enforce them more regularly? Are smaller firms at a disadvantage at all?
Well, for the bigger projects and bigger construction firms, I think they are under obligation from the tender requirements to actually employ safety officers for their projects. But these safety officers have to do their due diligence to conduct safety briefing and also to generate reports on a weekly basis to actually get certifications going on so that it doesn't affect the project schedule. But for smaller firms, generally the projects being managed by landlords or building management, which they have their own in-house rules and regulations, is really, again, the due diligence of the site supervisors to actually constantly remind the workers and conduct inspection, briefing to ensure safety concerns.
There's regular check-ins so that everybody's on the same page when it comes to knowing what the dangers are, what to look out for as well. Yeah. In your view, Mr. Tung, is a higher level of safety consciousness, as it were, equal to cost, though? I mean, does it become more expensive to know what to do? I mean, and if that is true, I mean, who should pay for that? Who pays the bill for that?
I think to actually set up a robust safety observation framework, definitely there is some upfront investment costs, like safety equipment, safety gears, that the employer will have to invest. On top of that, they have to send their workers for trainings, and all these are costs. But on the long run, again, it actually will generate savings. Once safety is put in place, they will enjoy lower insurance premium, lower worker compensation, reduce medical expenses, and also they will reduce the chances of having downtime in their projects, because the downtime in the projects will lead them to liquidated damages or even legal lawsuits, and that will definitely cost 10 times more.
Yeah, so there are no shortcuts when it comes to safety at work.
Yeah, and I think it's a shared responsibility because the employers will definitely have to make sure that their workers are well trained. And again, the government agencies will have to constantly review the framework, the systems, and see how to close up gaps and also to implement new regulations.
Mr. Tung, thank you for coming into the studios to talk to us about this important issue. That was Mr. Tung Ching Yew there, President of the Society of Interior Designers Singapore, or SIDS.